Hey guys, this is Sarah. I'm the partner of the IT Security Advisory Group. In the IT Security Advisory Group, we provide advice, of course, and guidance for our customers that are seeking compliance, audit prep, and other security advisory, as well as we have a 24/7, about 365 security operations center that spans globally, but is here in the U.S. I have provided IT security experience, including business continuity, risk management, advisory, operations, technology engineering for over 30 years. And the verticals that we mostly work in are high-tech, banking and financial, insurance, telecommunications, medical, and retail. So we're working on all sorts of platforms, even the cloud, SaaS, PaaS, IaaS platforms. So I'll be sharing some information with you today. Consistent and firm, that's my message, consistent and firm. So next slide, please. Let's move right into it. So some of the questions that might be coming up for everyone, thinking that everybody's 100% remote here, are how do I support everyone's needs while being secure? I'm sure IT, Mike's team, even Mo's team are having to support lots of extra calls surrounding this time. Some are security related, some are very IT centric. How do I use this? How do I get this program? Where's my mouse? Where's my keyboard? Where's my monitor? All these things are coming together all at once. And how do we prioritize those? Well, generally, when something happens, if we don't have that plan that Mike was talking about, we go into very task-oriented mode. And the second part of that, though, is how do we secure that workforce that's been extended from the office to your home to make sure it's secure? And how do we, now that we've handled a good portion of everybody goes remote, how do we handle everybody's secure in their home workspace? So that's pretty important to think about, prioritizing everyone's needs and then making us secure. And then something that I'm sure crosses the mind of the business owner and the company is, how do we secure that machine at home, whether it's a company asset, a machine that someone's utilizing to get just email, or either their new Chromebook that they just ran out to Target to get last Tuesday before they ran out. What is it that we're going to do to make the employee not feel so personally invaded, because they really don't have a choice right now. So there are many tools that we can utilize to check on the files, the data, the laptop, the network, if we need to, at someone's home. Like, for example, if somebody is an administrator, a system administrator, or has privileged access, they need a little more machine and network monitoring at home if you can do it. But there are other ways to do it too. There is training and acknowledgement. We may decide that we don't want to do extensive monitoring at the home network, but we want to train a little bit more about the security principles we want to utilize, the ones we always utilize in the office, better ones that we didn't utilize in the office, and what we want to do at home, and then have the employee or contractor acknowledge, yes, I will follow these rules. The last thing we want to do is really unintentionally leak data. We don't want to unintentionally leak any type of company data, employee data, anything. So these are all things we want to think about when we're all working at home. Next slide, please. But what about in a few weeks when we're not all working from home, but there are, let's say 25% of us decide that this is the way we want to go forward and the company agrees. I think it could be more, but maybe it's just 25%. How do I articulate the security I want as a company and the support that is needed for the employee or the contractor at home? How do I articulate that? And Mike has already stepped on that by saying that we need a plan. So the plan is going to be a little more extensive than the teleworker policy that we wrote in 2014, 2015. It's going to have to delineate some of the measures that we want for security and some of the priorities we're going to put on support for those workers that stay at home. And how do I audit everything that's being done, and is it being followed at home? So some companies, especially those that are already under SEC regulation or already under compliance like ISO or NIST or FedRAMP, they already have to monitor that machine or machines no matter where they are. Whether they left the office or they're at your house or they're in your car, those machines are having to be monitored, whether they're iPhones that belong to the company with data on them or they're your laptop, whatever it is. So just remembering that audits didn't stop because we went to work from home, and in the future, audits won't stop because we have remote workers. That is an extension of the office. And then when you think about that, what are we going to audit? How are we going to see it? How are we going to manage what is going on that laptop on my personal network? There are tools that prevent data leakage, tools that we use for monitoring the laptop, tools that we use to lock down a certain segment of the network so that no one in your household can get to the laptop but you. It's like you working on your machine with your printer and your monitor and your keyboard and your mouse, and that's it. And everyone else in the house is watching Netflix. There are ways we can segment your home network or make suggestions to segment it that prevents or reduces data leakage. And then how often now should we train people on working securely at home? We used to just train once a year, a basic information security awareness training. When you started working, a basic information security awareness training. Now we need a separate work from home information security awareness training. What is that extra due diligence I, as an employee or a contractor, are going to be requested to do when I am working from home? So this is going to be a future thing, but this is the perfect time, the absolute perfect time to plan. Absolutely perfect. Technically, you can work from anywhere as long as you have internet and you can grab an IP address, absolutely. But if we're talking about working from a place other than your home that has been identified by your employer or your office, which is your employer, you want to articulate that to your company where it is you will be working. And if it's outside the country, there are sanctioned countries that certain businesses cannot allow their equipment into, and you cannot be on the internet working with your company from sanctioned countries. I don't know if that's where you were going with this, but I just want to throw that out there, that there's some technical pieces and there's some business pieces about that question and answer. If there is an opportunity to roll the MDM solution to sort of containerize the email on that workstation at home, that's always a great option. The longer we are working from home with non-company assets, the more things we can do and should do. There are very in-depth things we can do at home that people don't do all the time because, they think, well, I just work from home once in a while and it's not a big deal. Or I just look at email on my machine at home. But it is a big deal when, we don't control the viruses and the malware and the endpoint solution and the containers and the email and the syncing and the data leakage potential. So any of that should be planned for during this time.